Hi guys, it's Bethany, your crafty BFF, coming on again today to finish this tutorial. In part one, we walked through this baby boy album that I made, and we built the cover and all of the pages for our 6.5 by 8.5 album, mini album. We left off, and I said that in this video we would, before we do most of the decorating, we're going to concentrate on building those 3D elements, all the interactive elements that we put in, but couldn't actually install until we matted the pages. So I did a little work off camera. I picked my cover photo, or my cover paper. I went ahead and cut my mats to my gold foil to 6.25 by 8.25, and then my designer paper mats at 6 by 8. The spine, the gold foil ended up being 2 3/4 by 8 1/4, and the designer paper was 2 3/4 by 8. So I hope that helps with the matting of the cover. I also went ahead and picked a cut apart for the cover here. Oh, and I should probably add that the collection I'm using is by Cartabella. It's called Gather at Home. It's a little out of my comfort zone with these dark colors and all the green, but it's really beautiful. I love the minty greens and the peachy pinks. I'm trying to think what else. I picked the cut aparts for my gatefold pages here on pages 1 and 2, so we will come back to those. But the first thing we're going to work on is page 4, and that has the pop-up photo element. If you remember, we had this side piece that we glued on, and then we didn't glue down this piece, which was 8 by 4.5. We scored at a 1/2 inch on the 4.5 inch side, and then we added our double-sided tape to the very front, the front of the paper. It's important you do the front and not the back, okay? So I went ahead and chose these papers to mat the inside of our little pop-up album. I'm gonna have to cut this one down a little bit because it's 6 by 8. I'm gonna get my handy dandy trimmer in here and cut it down to 5.5. Put that little scrappy to the side. And then it should fit perfect. Now I did also go through and put down magnets on each of my pages. For this one, because we have the pop-up element at the top, I put the magnet more towards the bottom of the page, as you can see here. So I'm just going to take the tape off of that and then start to glue my paper down. All the supplies I was running low on came in yesterday, except for my freaking 3/8 of an inch double-sided tape. It's running late, thanks Amazon. But that is neither here nor there. We can get by with what we have. Okay. So again, I'm just going down my matting pages. This one was 5.5 by 8, and this one is 6 by 8. You can see there's a little peekaboo of this page under there, so they know to flip it, but then they will be surprised again by the pop-up element. Okay, so now that our pages are matted, what we're going to do is open her up like this. Make sure even the 1/2 inch score is laying flat, and you're going to fold it in half like so. you're gonna we had cut the corners here so that we can line this up with the very middle, and you want to make sure that when you place it, it's not hanging out here. Okay, so you want it lined up the middle, but you also don't want it, you shouldn't have any issues because of the size that we made it. So I'm gonna put mine up here at the very top. Or no, wait, we got to make sure that it's not peeking out here. That's what we got to do. I knew there was something. So close it and make sure that there's no, it's not peeking out here in the corner, because you don't want that, but it should be okay. Just line it up with the very, the fold of your page. And I'm putting mine as far up as I can get it without it showing, which looks like it's going to be about right there. Okay. Now I'm going to take the back of my tape off. Lining it up. Again, I want to make sure that it's not peeking out, and it's not. So because it's not, I'm just going to go ahead and press down. And then open it up. And we're going to take off this side of the tape. Uh-oh. Okay, there's still time to save it. I put it in backwards. Okay, so don't make that mistake, okay? So when you fold it over, you want the right side. That's the side you want to lay down first. Lord have mercy, I almost made a mistake. Okay, so again, we're opening it up and we fold it in half, leaving our bottom scores for the stickies on the top and the bottom. And the right side, this right side is the one that you want to lay down here in the corner, so that it pops up. Okay, I'm putting it a little lower than I thought because it was sticking out a little bit, but that's okay. Okay, so once you do that and you take the other side of the tape off, it will, when you open it, it will pop up like so. So it's really easy. I'm liable to screw up anything, so sorry about that. So you're laying your right side down first and then closing it on top and pressing down. And it pops up. I hope that was clear enough. Sorry about that, guys. I had to take a drink real quick. Okay, so that was page 4. And on page 5, we have our waterfall with the closure. Now, one of the cut aparts I picked out was this 4x4 here. And I cut out a piece of gold foil to mat it on, to hide the magnet that we're going to put here to hold everything down. Okay, let me pick some papers, and we will start working on our waterfall. I'm being indecisive, but I'm thinking about doing this here. It's not my favorite paper, but the back is cut apart, so I'm gonna put that there. We have this picked out. We need something small for this. I'm thinking, no, that ain't gonna work. This will work because we're going to cover it up with our cut apart. So I'm using this scrap that I had from the cover. You do you. pick whatever you want. I'm going to cut this to 1 7/8. I have this all backwards. Okay, make sure I have it right. The longest side and 1 7/8. And then I'm going to cut another 1 7/8 for the back of it. So you can see I have this covered here, and then we'll cover the back of this one here. I'm just lining it up with the very bottom here, because like I said, that cut apart will be at the top, and we'll be holding our thing down. So there's that one. Now for the waterfall, we need magnets. So let's take our magnets out. And we need our double-sided tape. I am going to put 2 magnets here. I'm going to put 2 magnets down because this thing gets really heavy. So, okay, we're going to glue the magnets to this top one here. So we can go ahead and mat our paper. I'm telling you, I'm not on my game today. It's too early. But the kids just went to school, and I'm like, I'm getting this done before they get home today, no matter what. So there we have this closure piece matted, and we have our page matted. Now we can start to line up our waterfall. I'm going to move this out of the way again. And I'm going to leave just a little bit of space at the top. Maybe about a 1/4 inch from the top where I glue my first piece down. I am going to make sure it's center with my closure, but I do want some space down at the bottom, or at the top, just like so. I'm going to get my bone folder. Okay, so I want it lined up with this, but I also want it lined up at the middle of the page, and it's a little bit off, but once we put it all together, no one will be able to tell. Okay, so I'm varnishing that down. I'm going to open up my closure, and my second piece I'm going to add right after the first one. This first score, hinge, whatever you want to call it, ends. And I want to line this up as straight as I can get it with the top piece. And lift it up and varnish it down. And then we're ready for the third piece. There should be 7 total pieces here. We cut them out in the first part of this tutorial. I know that the mat, they're actually here. So just in case, they are 4 3/4 by 4, and you're going to score at a 1/2 inch on the 4-inch side. And then the matting is 4 5/8 by 3 3/8. And there are 7 of them, like I said. We're just going to take our time to line them up straight. As straight as we can get them. My waterfalls are always a little bit wobbly, but that's okay. Here's number 6. And number 7. Okay, so I am going to mat this top piece here before we add our magnets down. I need a piece of paper for that. Sorry, I'm being indecisive, guys. Tell you what, we'll just use this one. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this at 4 5/8. By 3 3/8. Now I'm going to get my magnets. Like I said, because this is made out of 110-pound cardstock and it's pretty heavy, so I'm going to use 2 magnets here in the center so that our closure can hold it down properly. Like so. And then I'm going to add 2 more magnets on top of those, maybe, on each of them. I'm going to take my tape and sticky side up, pick my magnet up and put it right on there. Let it sit back down on the magnet. And again, for this one, sticky side up, placing the magnet right on there, and then it magnetizes. This is the piece I have for the closure. It's a 4x4 cut apart, and then the gold matting is at 4 1/8 by 4 1/8. I should not have added the glue, but okay, I'm gonna get my magnets by sticking this down and getting them both to stick to the back of that, like so. I should not have added my glue. Don't add your glue before you do this part. You're trying to find out where your magnets are going to go and where to place them and all that jazz. I just wasn't thinking that through. Now I'm trying to get the back of this tape off and it does not want to come up. There we go. Now I can glue this to my gold mat. So the magnets are hidden between this paper and the, look at that, I got glue on it. It'll come off when it's dry with an adhesive eraser, no big deal. Okay. And then, okay, so our magnets are here and they're lined up with these magnets. So we can take the tape off of these and glue our matting piece down to hide them. Okay, now we're gonna put those magnets down, and you're only gonna glue the back of this to the front of this part of the closure. So I'm just gonna add glue right here, and I don't want to go too far down. Line it up, let the magnets magnetize, and then press down. Try to get it straight as you press it down. Yeah, you can see that all that adhesive that got on there, but once it's completely dry, I'll use my adhesive eraser and it should rub right off. Although this paper is kind of tricky because Carta Bella has that textured paper, you know, so got to be really careful with that. Okay, so there's that, and this will open up now and hold all of these guys down flat in your book, like so. I used the 2 magnets because I thought one was just not going to be strong enough to hold all that paper down. Okay, the next little element that we added was on page 9, and it's our twist and pop element. Let me get a drink real quick. And we didn't do this one because we need to mat the inside here before we glue down our mechanism. So let's go ahead and mat these. I'm going to use this paper here. I love the minty green. It's one of my favorite colors. And I just need to make these, one of them 6 by 8 and one by 6 and 7.5 by 6 and, oh my gosh, 6 by 7.5. So what I'm going to do is cut it down to 8 lengthwise, and then do my 6. So I have a 6 by 8, and then this is 6 by 8, so I'm going to cut this down to 6 by 7.5 for my top portion, because there's just a little gap down at the bottom, like a little peekaboo. So you'll see that paper and be like, oh, I can lift it, and then it'll be the surprise of the twist and pop. So let's go ahead and glue these down. This is our 6 by 8. That's our 6 by 7.5. And there's our top half. Okay, so now that those are matted and our magnet, the back of our magnet tape is, the tape that's holding down our magnets is up, we will work on the twist and pop feature. If you remember in part 1, we cut out 2 pieces that were the same size. I believe they're both 10 by 3 3/4. I had you cut one out of 65-pound cardstock and one out of 110-pound cardstock. The one with 110-pound cardstock is the one that's going to hold our photos, so I like it to be a little more sturdy, whereas the other piece needs to be more flexible to be able to twist and pop. So with the 110-pound piece, what you're going to do is fold it in half, okay? And I think we went over this on part 1, but you fold it in half, and then you fold the top back on itself and crease, and then you flip it over and do the same thing so that you have 4 equal sections. If you want to measure and score on your scoreboard, you can, but I thought this was a lot easier. And then you come out with 4 even sections of 2 3/8 by 3 5/8. So that will be the matting size. So that's the photo part. And then the twist and pop mechanism, again, is 10 inches by 3 3/4. We scored at 5 right down the middle on the 10-inch side, and then we scored at 1 7/8 on the 3 3/4 side. So that's right down the middle as well. Now, you can see that I already started to bend my paper, but this is what you're going to do. You want to, I'm going to try to get it a little closer here so you can see what I'm doing. And your top score here, we're going to bend it over to meet this score line. Okay. So we're lining those up so that they're even. And you don't want to press it all the way down yet, because you want to flip over and make sure that this line is lined up with this line. And see, mine's not. So I'm going to twist it just a little bit. And then we can press down because both sides are lined up evenly. So there's the front and the back are both lined up. Okay, well that did not work. Let me try that again. It worked earlier. Okay, so we're lining that up. Don't press it down all the way yet. It's lined up. And this side needs to be twisted just an incy bit to line up here. And then you can press down so that they're lined up, like so. Okay. So it's good. You got to see the mistake you can make and then how to fix it. So then you open this up and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to bring this line down to this line. And it makes an X in the middle. But this is the mechanism that will twist. So we're lining this up. Make sure it's nice and straight. And then we're going to flip it over and make sure the back is lined up nice and straight. And it is. So there's that. And now we can crease it down. So you should have this X here in the middle. And we did this out of 65-pound cardstock, so it'd be nice and flexible. Now is kind of the tricky part. And what you do is you grab these ends. You want this to go in while you bring the 2 feet inside. I call them feet, or legs. They kind of look like legs to me once you get it all folded. So you, okay, tricky part. We're going to fold. You want this part to go in and the legs to start to come out without that folding in on you, and like so. So see, these look like eggs or legs, and then there's a triangle here on the top and a triangle here on the bottom. So let's do that again. You're going to grab your pieces like this, and you want to push this in. Push the very middle in while you start to grab these legs and bring them. It's not working. This part's tricky too. So you're bringing these legs in, and this paper is trying to curl up, but you want it to look like that. Okay. So I hope that I was close enough and you were able to see exactly what I was doing. Just know that there should be one full triangle on this side and one full triangle on this side, and the legs should be here in the middle, like that. I will link a tutorial that I followed. May made it on her channel. She explains it really easily. So I will link that in the description box in case you're not getting it here. Okay. So now that we have our little piece here, we can take our page 9 and open it up. And what I like to do is to cut off just the very tip so that there's a straight edge to line up with our score mark in the middle. Why is there glue everywhere? Okay, so we're going to line it up here with the very edge of our opening, like this, and close it on top. We're going to add our glue only on the triangle, okay? Don't get any on the leg, the little leg pieces that I'm calling the legs, just the triangle. And then you're going to line this up to the middle score and shut your page. Press down to get that nice and varnished. And when you open it up, you're going to glue this side too. You're going to glue the bottom of the triangle now. Don't worry, we'll add the other part of the mechanism here in a minute. But we're going to fold this down and varnish. And when you open it up, it will look like so. You can see how it closes and how it's opening. Okay, so for the part that holds the photos, I made it the same size as the mechanism so that it's hidden. You don't want to make it any smaller than the mechanism. You can make it bigger if you want, but I like to make it the same size so then I can just line it up and glue it easily. On the right side of your mechanism, we're going to put glue here on the top. Only the top on the right side. About the same size as my panel. Like so. And I'm just going to line up the corners. Like that. And then here on the left side, we're going to put glue on the bottom left. So the top right and the bottom left of our mechanism. And I'm going to line up the corners and press down to get that to adhere. Like I said, I will link made it tutorial on this because it's very easy to follow, and I know I'm not the best in the world at explaining things. So what did I do? I did something wrong because it's not closing right. That's what I did. I hope you haven't got that far yet. Or at least if you did, you kept your M. Okay, so what this makes an M, your M needs to be pointing towards you, and then you glue it down. I'm just gonna roll with it, guys. I'm gonna mat the paper anyway, so it won't be seen. So I'm adding the glue to the left. It is I'm telling you, this tutorial has been a pain in my neck. I make mistakes left and right. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Okay. Like I said, I'm going to mat the paper. Nobody's going to see it. Nobody's going to look at the mechanism because it's hidden by this paper. So your M should be popping out, not in. That was my mistake. And now it will close, no problem. Like so. And there's a magnet there to hold it down so it doesn't come out. So open and close. Sometimes you got to help them close. There we go. Okay. I will be right back. I'm going to take a little bathroom break and I'll be back in no time. Okay, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. I know it was no time at all for you, but I needed a little break. Okay, so our last element that we put in is on page 12, and it is our pull down waterfall. So what you need is a piece of 6x8 to mat your paper, but we're not gluing it down. Instead, we're going to take our belt that is 5 1/4 by 1 1/4. We did put this together in part 1 of the tutorial, so you can go back and watch that if you need to. About 3/4 or a quarter of the way up on the page, I'm going to place this belt. I did cut out a matting piece for it as well. So I'm going to go ahead and mat that. And I'm going to glue this down, just adding glue to the very edges of my belt, like so. And like I said, about a quarter of the way up from the page, we're going to place our belt. And that should fit just perfect. You fold your guy up using the last page to fit him in, like so, and you're just double checking to make sure it's going to fit properly, and it does. So once you have that, you can take your little brads. You don't have to, but I think it just adds that security. So when people are pulling up and down on the waterfall, it doesn't come off. I secure it with these little brads. And then you don't have to worry about the glue ripping out. I try to line these up the best I can. I just by eyeballing it. You can measure if your heart desires. But I just poke a little hole in my paper. And then I get these little brads from Hobby Lobby. And I'm opening it up on the back, like so. Another gold one. Put it through this side. And then I will take my double-sided tape and secure the brads once again. Like that. And take the back of the tape off. And then we can glue our paper down to our page. Make sure it's the right way up so that your pocket's on top, on the back. And then you're going to open up your thing. We need to mat this. Of course, I didn't measure it. We got 3 7/8 by 7. I'm going to just use this scrap right here. So 3 7/8. I'm going to go 6 7/8 just to make sure, because I was measuring quickly. Should we use the clocks? I think we'll use the clocks. It's not so dark, and I don't know if I'm going to bring any more black into this layout. So let's do this. Okay, now that that's matted, we can put our pull down waterfall mechanism in under the belt. We're going to line it up as evenly as we can. And we're going to add glue just to the middle of the belt. And then close the waterfall feature down on top so that that last piece is what is being glued to the belt. Don't pull down on it right away. You'll want to let it dry first. But that is our last add-in feature. And for the rest of the video, I'm just going to mat my pages. If you guys know me, you know I'm really indecisive and this part could be a while. But some people like process videos and like to craft along, so let's do it. As I had mentioned before, I picked out the cut aparts for the inside cover and page 1 so that I knew what I was going to be putting down, and then I picked the papers that most matched them, and I'm going to do it opposite. So this one says home is where our story begins, so I thought that was good for page 1, and then or for the inside cover, and then here it says let's always make the best memories together. If you can see, this pattern on this cut apart matches this paper here, so I'm going to mat my inside cover with this one, at least the flaps anyways. So I need basically a 6x8. Let's see. No, 6x8. And this needs to be cut in half. 6x4. So we're gonna add magnets here. I'm gonna move all these pages aside so we can work on just the cover. I'm gonna mat this here. Actually needs to be less than 6x4. I'm gonna try 3 7/8. Yeah, no, that's better. So I will make this page 3 7/8 too. For the bottom. Now I'm gonna go ahead and glue down the top one, but not the bottom one, because we're gonna add our magnets down here. And get my magnet. I want to try to line this up as center as I can get it, knowing that's going to be there. So our first magnet, and put the other one on top. Get our double-sided tape, and with the sticky side up, you're going to put your magnet right on top. And then with the sticky side up, you lay it down. Look how gluey my hands are. Okay. So, without the gold foil, I'm going to place this down to catch the magnet on the bottom of it. Like so. And then we know it'll look like that. So we can take the back of our tape off and glue. Mat this on this gold foil. Now the cut apart is 3 by 4, so the gold foil is 3 1/8 by 4 1/8. Once you've got that situated where you want it, you can take the tape off, the back of the tape off of this magnet. And glue down your paper. Like so. And then you're going to glue only the top of your cut apart to the top flap. Like so, I'm only adding glue to like the first third of it. I'm going to let the magnet catch it and then lay it down. And then it opens like so. Okay. Now for page 1, I'm going to set this aside. And I decided to use the same cover paper because it kind of matches this cut apart here. Just that one, the cut apart has a darker background. So I am going to cut this down to 8. I'm just going to check my measurements again real quick. So 3 3/8 and 3 3/8. Okay. Okay, so just like on the inside cover, we're going to glue this piece down first. Like we did on the top piece. We're going to add our magnet to the middle over here on the right side. Let the other magnet catch. Get your double-sided tape and sticky side up. Lay that down. Where'd my cut apart go? Where did it go? There it is. Okay, without glue and without the gold foil mat, we're going to line this up so it's in the center and lay it down so that we can get that magnet on the back. Doesn't have to be perfect, but just so it's like that. Okay, I'm going to take the back of the tape off. Add our glue. Again, the cut apart is 3 by 4, so the gold foil mat is 3 1/8 by 4 1/8. And there we have it. I'm going to go ahead and take the back of this tape off. Uh-oh, don't throw away the pokey tool. And now we can mat this side. Hide that magnet. And then you're going to let your magnets catch, and you're only going to glue on the left. So if you're looking at it this way, it's the right side, but if you're putting it down, it's the left side. So like that, so that it's only glued onto this flap. And let that magnet catch it, and then press down. And then we have it that opens like this. Okay, I'm back once again. I had technical difficulties. My phone was dying. And I didn't put my phone on airplane mode, but I definitely just did now so that I don't get any more interruptions. My phone is charged, and we can continue. Now that we have matted our inside cover and page 1, just not the inside, I like to do all the outside main parts first and then come back through with my scraps and figure out what I can use up. So for pages 2 and 3, these are our twin pages that open to the left and to the right. I got my trimmer here. And I picked out 2 papers. I'm going to put this pinky paper in the background and then put this minty green with the flowers on the outside. I think that'll be really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this paper here to 6 by 8. Hold on, I've got this on wrong. Go figure, right? No, it goes like this when I'm cutting. Okay. So cut it down to 8. And then cut this in half at 6. And then I have my little pages here for the inside. And then I'm going to cut 2 at 4 7/8 by 8 for the outside. So again, I'm going to cut it down to, looks like this was the bottom and I didn't cut all the branding strip all the way off. So we'll cut here at 8. And then at 4 7/8, which is the mark just before 5. 4 7/8, like so. And 4 7/8. I always like to make sure it's going to fit. I did measure properly. And I'm going to glue it down. So not only do the pages function the same but opposite way, but they're decorated the same but opposite way. The way the papers are laid out and the way they open. And then they truly are like twin pages. So there we have pages 2 and 3. Page 4 is our pop-up page, like that. And then I always like to see what my page 5 is, so I can make them coordinate well. So on the inside we have this, but on the outside that's what you're gonna see first. I'm thinking we might use this black and white checker over here. Yeah, that's what we'll do. And then it has just a little bit of the black and white checker on this side. I like the way that looks. So I'm going to cut this at 5.5 by 8. So let's go 8 like this. I can line it up here. And 5.5. Like I always say, you know, matting the paper always takes the longest. You know, I can build probably 2 albums in a day, but to mat them takes so much longer. So I hope you guys like these process videos where we're just here crafting together. So again, I think that's going to look cute with the matching, but not too matchy-matchy. And I don't think I've said it yet in part 2 of this tutorial, but I am using 2 12 by 12 collection kits from Cartabella. It's this collection. I've shown it, but I'll show it again. The Gather at Home. I'm using 2 of these collections to match this album. And I planned the album out to be able to use the 2 collection kits and still have just a little bit of scraps left over. Because I have 2 of the same collections in my kit and in my stash, and so I wanted to be able to use them all in one album. So there we have page 4 with our pop-up. We'll come back and use our scraps to mat the pop-up at each side should be 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. So there's page 3 and 4. 5, I'll come back and mat the rest of these waterfall pieces if I have enough scraps, which I should. Pages 6 and 7 are the twin accordion pages. So they open both like this. And I should add that I like to add 1 magnet on the inside on this flip and then on this side of the opening as well. It helps it stay down over here and over here, so you can, and without the magnets it's all floppy, it flops around and whatnot. So I like that security with the 2 magnets here on that flip and on this flip. Okay, now we need to pick some papers. And this is the part I'm always so indecisive about. I'm going to pick it for just for right now. I'm going to pick a paper for that's going to be showing here in the background, and then whatever I'm going to put here on this first flap, since that's all you see when you first flip through it. I really like this green minty, the dark green and the minty green. That's too much floral though, huh? Too much floral. So let me see what else I got. I haven't used that one yet. Or there's that side. There's this one, which I don't hate. I don't know. What do you guys think? I wish you could tell me. We have this one. Again, too many florals. Or the dark green. I think this page will look better with something else. I don't know. So indecisive. I'm just going to put that right there and see. I like that. I think that's too much green. And this one, let's see. I think we'll go with the black for now. That kind of bluish gray is throwing me off a little bit. So hopefully we'll find another paper that will match with that better. So my black paper here is going to be 6x8, 2 6x8s, and this one is going to be 5 1/4 by 7. So I'm going to put these to the side. Again, I'm going to cut this lengthwise at 8. And then cut it in half at 6. And then this one we're going to cut at 7. What's on this side? I like this side better. 7 by 5 1/8. Forgive me, I'm gonna measure twice and cut once. Yep, 5 1/8 by 7. Okay. Five 1/8 by 5 1/8. Get out of there. I'm going to move our trimmer out of the way, bring our pages back in. Page 6 and page 7. I'm going to go ahead and open this up. Page 6 here. Open it to the left, that is. I'm going to remove this tape and glue our first piece down like so. Yeah, so don't get me wrong, I love my florals, but I feel like if you have two florals on the same page, it gets to be a little much. So I try to pair my florals with a non-floral print, if that makes sense. And then you have more florals to go with all the way through the album. Okay, there's that one. And I think that looks pretty good. Yeah. Now for page 7, I'll do the same thing. I'm going to open it to the right this time. Remove our tape. Glue our paper down. Close that. And glue our top piece down. I'm sure I've explained it before, and I say a lot of the same things in these tutorials. But just in case you haven't watched one of my tutorials before, I'll say it again. I go through my album and I mat all the pieces that you see first and foremost as you're flipping through. So like we matted this is page 1, and on the inside I have not matted yet. That's because I want to go through and make sure that I have my main pages coordinating. So you can see that my inside front cover and my page 1 are kind of coordinating with the cut aparts that have the same print here and then the same print here. And then pages 2 and 3, we have yet to mat the inside of these flaps because I want my pages to coordinate with each other like so. And then we can come back through and mat all the flaps with what we have left, and it's easier to use your scraps like that. And then I'll go through a third time. The method to my madness is to, you get the biggest areas first and then come back to the smaller areas, and then the third time you do all the smallest areas like on your waterfalls and whatnot. So there's that. Now we're done with page 6 and 7, and we have pages 8 and 9 to work on. Page 8 is our side pocket here, and then page 9 we already did because it's our twist and pop page. I only matted the inside so you can see just a little bit of this green here. And because I want it to coordinate, I will likely add this green somewhere on this page, either on my pocket or right here. Let me see what scraps I have of that, if any. I'm just looking through what I have here so far, and I do have a piece there. Let's see. I'm thinking maybe that there. I'm thinking maybe this on my pocket. This in the background, and this scrap right here. Unless I find something a little... Actually, I think I like that better because then it brings in two of the papers from this page to this page. I like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is cut this guy down to 3.5. It doesn't have to go all the way into the pocket, okay? I'm only doing 3.5, just enough to put a little bit in the pocket. So 3.5. So that's going to go just like that. I'm going to cut this to 3 3/8 by 8. Okay, now this needs to be cut down to 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. Because I did round these corners here on this closure piece, I'm going to go ahead and round these corners. And I'm going to go ahead and start gluing. Don't forget to take your tape off. Back of your tape. I'm going to glue this down like so. And actually, I'm going to leave this. Well, let's go ahead and put this on the inside, shall we? 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. Actually, no, because that has that scrape there. I don't like that. We'll come back to that part and with our scraps and glue something down there when we do our third pass through. So I'm just going to glue in this background piece for the inside of our pocket. Like so. And there we have it. And there's page 8 all done. And page 9. Like I said, this inside's already glued down, so we're just gonna cut this little piece here down to 7.5 because it should already be at 6. Yes, it's already at 6, so we'll just cut it down to 7.5. And glue that bad boy right there. Page 10, we have this it opens up to the top and down to the bottom. And then where's my page 11? 8, 9, 10, and 11. Here it is. Okay. So, let me take a drink real quick. I'm thirsty today. So page 10 is our, like I said, it opens up and it opens down to create a whole lot of room for photos. And then page 11 here is this bottom pocket with the top opening closure. Let's find some papers to use. I have not used this one yet, and it's one of the florals. I'm going to have to use this paper. I have 2 of them, and I don't know what I'm going to do. So, let me see here real quick. Then I have that floral too. Forgive me while I flip through my papers and see what I got. Okay. What do you guys think? I have this dark green here. This one. I'm thinking maybe these 3 together. This can be a background piece for our pocket there. This I'm thinking I'm going to put here on this side and then on the bottom of our pocket. I'm just not sure. Decisions. Uh-oh, I knocked my glue off. Okay, let's go with that because otherwise we could be here all day. I'm going to cut this lengthwise at 8. And cut it by 6. For page 10, go right there on top. And then page 11, I'm going to put it on the bottom of the pocket. And so that's a 6x4. Just going to measure this and make sure. Yeah, 6x4. So cut that guy in half. And then I'll go there. And then we're going to cut this guy. Sorry, I'm thinking still. Just do it, Bethany. Just do it. Yeah, I'm going to cut this at 5 7/8. No, I was supposed to cut that at. Okay, it's fine. So we're gonna do 6, 5 and 7. I cut it at 5 and 7/8, but it only had to be cut at 5. But here we go, and I'm cutting this at 6, and this will fit down inside of our pocket. I was thinking about putting it on that flap up there. That's why I cut it that way, but that's fine. That's fine. And then we need something to go here. And I think that's too busy. I think we might come back to the flap, guys. Because I'm having issues making decisions today. I'm going to go ahead and glue this down to page 10. Is that too much floral? Yeah, that's way too much floral. Gray, blue, green. I don't know. I'm colorblind. You tell me what color it is, but it's throwing me off. I like the print, but the color is throwing me off. As if I need to be thrown off my game anymore. Thank you, Cartabella. Like I said, this collection is definitely outside of my comfort zone. It's a lot darker and a lot greener than what I'm used to playing with. I'm used to a lot more pink. Okay. So like this is the only one of my scraps that'll fit there. There's that one. I'm pretty sure that's it. No, or this one, but I don't think either of those look good. Too much floral. So we'll come back to it. Wait, here's this one. What do we think? I don't know. I think that might be it, but we'll come back to it still. Okay. So that's page 10, 11, and 12 is pretty much already done because of that. Because it's just the waterfall that we have left. And then we have our inside back cover. If you hear the moaning and groaning, that's my youngest daughter, Madison. She's special needs. She's perfectly okay. She just likes to make noise. She's nonverbal, so she just moans and groans. She just likes to be heard, like everybody. Okay, so we're going to continue here. Now, since I don't have much of this paper left, and I used this one, I think I'm going to use this other clock paper that we matted this, the back of this with. And I'm going to go ahead and add that one here. So we have a little bit of matchy-matchy. And it brings in that the pink and the green and the black. So this just needs to be cut at 8 lengthwise, and then cut it at 6 right down the middle. Give me a minute to go stir dinner and I'll be right back.